So, good morning everyone. Bonjour. I'm back. Not as in Sylvester Stallone. I'm back. Not that I'm back. But I'm back with yet another topic in French learning, and that is the possessive adjectives. And possessive adjectives in French are called les adjectifs possessifs. Now, what are possessive adjectives? Basically, those words which tell you the possession of something with someone, or maybe something with something, or maybe someone with someone, right? So, those words which are indicating the possession of a noun with another person or another thing, they are possessive adjectives. For example, if I say this is my duster, whose duster? My. This word my is basically relating this noun to me. It is actually showing the possession that this duster belongs to me. So, my is possessive adjective. Now, possessive adjectives as it is are used according to the persons, and you know that in the conversation we have three persons: first person, second person, and third person. Now, in secondary stage, they become six persons. Why? Because we have three in singular and three in plural. So, the persons, when we talk about in French, the order and the persons are je, first person singular, you, second person singular, il or elle, the third person singular, nous, first person plural, vous, second person plural, and il and elle, the third person plural. Now, this is the natural order of the persons. Yes, of course, like two cannot come before one, three cannot come after four. The natural order is 1, 2, 3, 4. The same ways, this is the natural order of the subject pronouns. So, if you know or if you have already learned the natural order of the subject pronouns, that learning the possessive adjectives also become very easy. Now, usually I tell my students that you can make out a song. I'll give you the lyrics, just try and make out a song, and the lyrics that I usually give is mon, ma, me, ton, ta, te, son, sa, se, and so on. Because it's a scientifically proven fact that the things that you learn songs very easily. You hear them twice or three times and you learn them. It automatically comes to you. So same ways, I suggest my students to make out the song out of the lyrics that I have given or French has given, and learn them, and they become very easy. They become natural to you. They come natural to you, naturally to you. I'm sorry about my words. I just miss on some words at times. So this is what is the structure or other possessive adjectives that we use in French are. With je, because we believe that every noun in French, whether living or non-living, is considered to have a gender, and we need to accommodate them according to their number as well. So we have different possessive adjectives for genders and numbers. So when we talk about je, the first person singular, the possessive adjective masculine singular is mon. The feminine singular possessive adjective is ma. And the plural adjective is me. Now again the question comes in, why every person has a different set of possessive adjectives? As in English, if I have to talk about me, this duster is mine, or this is my duster. So for me or I, we have a possessive adjective my. For you, this is your duster. So second person, your is the subject pronoun. Now in English, it is invariable. That is, these possessive adjectives do not have a different formation for masculine or feminine. Right? So that is why, whereas in French, the non-living objects and living, of course, have a different set of possessive adjectives, because we believe that non-living objects also have a gender influence. So that is why different possessive adjectives and according to the persons also. Like in English, for I it is my, for you it is your, for he or she or it is his, her or its, and so on. So let's come on to the possessive adjectives and again on to the French possessive adjectives. With il, or rather I should start with Q. With Q, the masculine singular is ton, feminine singular is ta, and plural is te. With il singular, so, sa, and se. With nu, now over here we have an advantage because masculine singular and feminine singular formations in plural person are same. So notre, notre, and no. With vous, it is votre, votre, and vos. And with il and plural, it is le, and le with an S. Why with an S needs to be used over here, or needs to be pronounced, or needs to be called out, so that you can basically differentiate between these three le. All of them have the same pronunciation. Le. Now out of this, which one is plural? Just bring it into your practice that le with an S is actually the plural one. Okay. So these are our possessive adjectives. Now how to make a song out of it? No, I am not going to sing out the song. Otherwise you leave this video out. Ma, ma, me, to, ta, te, so, sa, se, notre, notre, no, votre, votre, vo, and le. So please make the song yourself. I'm not going to sing it out. Let's see how we need to use or we use them into sentences. So I'm going to write down some example sentences and then I'll let you know about it. So here we are with some sentences wherein we need to identify and choose and then fill up the blank using a suitable possessive adjective. Now how to go about it? Again, as I said in my earlier video also, if you follow rules, you'll never be wrong. So let us just draw up some rules for using possessive adjectives. The first rule, now this is of course my rule. I don't go about from the book. I have not taken this rule from any book. I have just formulated it on my own. So the first rule says that if you need to choose a suitable possessive adjective for a sentence, then what you need to do is have a look at if there is any subject person suggested in the sentence. The first sentence is, say Roger dash voiture est noir. This is Roger dash car is black. So is there any subject person suggested in the sentence? Yes, of course. Roger is the subject person used over here in the sentence. That is, the sentence is talking about a subject person and of course it is having a subject person in there. So when the subject person is there, try to go in with the possessive adjectives which are associated with that very subject person, because that way you'll never go wrong. Otherwise, in some sentences you can also apply your brains. That can come on a bit later, but right now, if a subject person is suggested to you in a sentence, then always try to go in with that very subject person and the possessive adjectives that are associated with that person. Like Roger, when someone is talking about Roger, Roger becomes the third person. And third person singular, because here it is, Roger is the only subject over here. So he is the third person singular. And if you remember through that table which I displayed at the beginning, the third person singular possessive adjectives, we've got three of them. Masculine singular is son, S-O-N. Feminine singular is sa, S-A. And the plural is se, S-E-S. So now the first thing, through the subject, we know that we have to choose one of these three possessive adjectives that are associated with the subject. So, saw, sa or say, which of these three needs to be used, that depends on our object, and that is our second step. Object, as I've been talking about regularly, is generally the word or specifically a noun that is coming after the blank, right after the blank. So in this case, Vatyu is our object. And what do we need to do with this object? We of course need to find out the number and gender as usual. So Vatyu is ending in E. So general rule says it is feminine. Let's write feminine for remembrance. Vatyu is not ending in S, X or Z. Mind it, we have three plural endings in French. The words with end in S or X or Z, they generally are considered to be plural. But here it is not so. So this object is singular. So we have a feminine singular object. Our subject told us which three possessive adjectives to go with, and our object is, I'm sorry for that disturbance, for that break, but okay. So our subject suggested which three possessive adjectives we have to consider, and our object is telling us which one is to be selected. Our object told us we need to go in with saw, sa or say, and our object, since it is feminine singular, it is telling us that go in with sa. This is our answer. Let's move on to the second sentence. The second sentence says, Je prends dash dîner. I take dash dinner. It cannot be I take your dinner. That would be a bit impulsive. Maybe agla, I'm sorry, just forget it. So, Je prends dash dîner. The first rule, see if any subject person has been suggested. Je has been suggested. So je has three possessive adjectives associated with it: mon, ma, and mes. The object is dîner. The second step, to find out the object. The third step, find out whether it is masculine or feminine, singular or plural. Rather, you should do one thing. Find out if it is singular or plural first, and then find out is it masculine or feminine. Why am I suggesting this? Because once you find out that your object is plural, no need to go in for singular, for masculine or feminine. Because at plural, we have just one word that is used for masculine plural as well as feminine plural both. So here, dinner or dîner suggests us that it is masculine singular object. And masculine singular with moma me is mo. That's our answer. Je prends mon dîner, I take my dinner. Then we come on to the third sentence, and it says, Tu as dash cahier. First step, the subject. With you, we have to, ta, and te. Out of these three, which has to be used? For that, we need to move on to step 2. And step 2 says, find out the object of the sentence. Once you find out the object of the sentence, find out its number. This word is ending in S, so it is plural. So now we do not need to go in for the next step, that is, don't find out the masculine or feminine part, because we have a single word or single possessive adjective which would be used for a masculine plural as well as feminine plural. So with you, to, ta, te, and the plural of these three is te. That's the answer. Come on to the next sentence. Ils ont dash livre. They have dash book. Subject, il. This is third person plural. And what are the possessive adjectives associated with it? Le, and le with an S. Come on to the object, leave. Now usually many people or many students, I've seen them, they forget that French is a language of exceptions. Now, this is my favorite line. I often use it. French is a language of exceptions. One rule says, follow this. Another rule says, no, you need to follow this. I mean, this is not specifically the rule that says in French, but this is my invention, my words. But the exceptional rule says that livre, although ends in E, but still it is a masculine verb. So with il, we had three of them, lur, and lurs. Now here we have the advantage. Why? Because masculine singular and feminine singular both are same words. It's lur, lur. So again you can skip on finding the gender, right? Because you can use either of the words, but it's always advisable to find out the gender. That way you'll never go wrong, just in case. So livre, I told you, is a masculine singular word. And masculine singular word, possessive adjective is le. Though it's the feminine also is the same, but let us stick to our rules. That would be better. The next sentence, c'est dash cousin. C'est dash cousin. First step, find out the subject person if the sentence suggests any subject person in the sentence. The sentence is not suggesting any subject person. Now what to do? Now in possessive adjectives, if you come across a sentence wherein the subject person is missing, that is, the sentence is not having any subject person, what to do about such a sentence? It's simple. Forget the first step and move on to the second step. That is, directly jump onto your object. Don't really jump onto your cousin, but still. We jump onto our object and let's find out, is it masculine or feminine? Is it singular or plural? The ending suggests that this object is masculine singular. If your sentence is not suggesting any subject, like in this, there is no subject person there, jump onto your object, find out is it what is the gender and what is the number, and then here you get the leverage. You get the liberty to choose any masculine singular possessive adjective. So your answer could be mon, your answer could be ton, your answer could be son, your answer could be notre, your answer could be votre, your answer could be le. That's the liberty that possessive adjectives give us. So multiple answers can be there, multiple answers, but of course, they should be according to our object. If the object is masculine singular, then only masculine singular would be acceptable. Any masculine singular can be there when there is no subject. So I am, for instance, writing mon over here. That's my answer, and that is correct. Let's see the next sentence. Again, it follows the same system. It does not have any subject person suggested to us. So let's jump on to the object. Object is family. It's plural over here. Now you have the liberty to choose any of the plurals. It could be me, it could be te, it could be se, it could be no, it could be vo, it could be le with an S. So I'll just pick up le. This is how you go about the possessive adjectives. But wait, as I told you, French is a language of exceptions. So there's a glitch. Now what that glitch is, let us see with some more examples. So let's see what the glitch or what is the exception while we need to remember while using the possessive adjectives, while playing with the possessive adjectives. The sentence says, Larissa Bawal are dash Ami. Larissa talks or chats to or with dash friend. Let's go in with the first step. Find out the subject of the sentence. Larissa. Which person? Obviously the third person plural, because someone is telling something about Larissa. So with third person singular, we have saw, sa and say as possessive adjectives. Let's jump on to our object. What does the object suggest over here? The object is ending in E. So it is feminine singular. So logically, what shall be our answer from saw, sa and say? It should be sa. But it won't be such. This is the exception. If you write sa over here, you'll go wrong. And why does that happen? Okay, let me just write it once again. Same as in English, vowel clash is a situation which we generally try to avoid in French. So logically, if we go by the logical answer, then we face a vowel clash situation. This word is ending in a vowel and the next word is starting with a vowel. So basically what happens is that it produces a monotonous sound of vowels, and that is not acceptable in French. So to break that monotony of those vowel sounds, what we actually do is we use the masculine singular possessive adjective. So what you need to remember is that even if your object is a feminine singular object, but if it is starting with a vowel, in that case you are going to use the masculine singular possessive adjective. The reason why I have already explained it out to you. So this is something what you need to remember, and this is the glitch that I was talking about. Let's just repeat it once again for better understanding. The sentence says, say dash école. This is dash school. No subject suggested over here. There is no subject as such. Subject person rather, to be specific. So we'll directly jump onto an object. Here you can take an advantage. What advantage? I'll come on to it a bit later. But right now, let's just try to find out what our object says about its gender and number. It is a feminine singular. So in case if you are using the possessive adjectives that are associated onto the singular side with the first three singular persons, je, tu, il and singular, they would be mo, to and son. So we need to use, because our object, though it is feminine singular but starting with the vowel, then mo or to or son should be your answer. But to be on the safer side, now taking the advantage, to be on the safer side, let us go with the plural persons. The subject, the possessive adjectives associated with the plural persons. First person nu ke saath, with nu we have notre. The feminine is also notre. With vous we have votre. The feminine is also votre. And with plural il, we have le. The feminine is also le. So this is an advantage over here. Choose notre for instance, and there you'll be correct. But if you choose the possessive adjectives that are associated with the singular persons, then use the masculine singular one. Use mo or ton or son. So this is how we go about the possessive adjectives. That's it.